Snobby Critic. Snobby Critic. That would sound real good with a bass line on it. Snobby Critic.
Yes, it would.
Get to work on that.
It would sound good.
All right. So, where did we leave off, Matt?
We were actually up by a robot.
We were
up there, up a little bit.
Up
a little bit higher.
Up.
Higher still.
Okay, but
there we are.
Yeah.
All right. Let's pause for a moment.
Yes.
All right. Now, there are a couple things I would like to look at leisurely. First of all, just for fun, to the right of the robot.
To the
Starburst.
right? The robot. Oh, okay, good. All right, that's a fun one. I like that.
Yes.
All right. Ooh, look at this. Oh.
Turbo-ing along the event horizon, I see.
Oh, yes, indeed. The reason why I got the star, I like, you probably can't see it. Maybe you can't see it. You see the little hexagon down there?
A little bit,
hexagon?
Yes.
The little lens flare?
Yes.
Hexagon lens flare? That could just come standard on whatever, I don't know how I made that happen.
Come standard with your...
Some brush, one of the brushes.
Supernova.
One of the brushes, the luminance of brushes made a... I like that. And then I made that, that little line there. Mm-hmm. And then I, of course, thought I'd be whimsical and make it,
I love it. It's just enough whimsy. Yeah. Just enough whimsy.
Really add a little lunch note action.
Nice.
Good guy. We'll add some stars. Make it look more spacey.
Listening to a podcast just recently, and they were talking about the Webb telescope and how they were very excited about the Webb telescope, and then became terrified by it because they saw actual pictures. And it was like testing. It was test runs that the Webb telescope was doing. Like they pointed it towards the sun or by the sun to kind of test out the lens, that sort of thing. And they had all these weird blur lines and smudges. And they're like, well, that's weird on a new telescope. So they tightened it up a little bit. They went, those are galaxies. Everywhere we thought there was just black space, no, there's galaxies.
Everything's
just galaxies
so far away
everywhere.
And we can't see it.
Exactly, until you brought out this Webb telescope, and now you can see that there are galaxies everywhere, and it's just constantly surrounded by light and other planets and other things and so on and so forth, and it's both amazing and terrifying.
When you're thinking people won't come to your play because how dare you write a bunch of plays and then put them together in a one-act compilation. Just like how big the universe is and how much it doesn't matter.
There you go. I like that. That's nice. It's actually very reassuring. In the grand scheme,
you might as well enjoy your little time here.
As well. Oh my goodness, there's one that involves teeth. You're gonna love it. Come see it.
I recall the teeth.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. All right. Let's scroll on.
We're scrolling.
Yeah,
They see me scrolling. I can only scroll so far.
You know what? Why don't we go over to the far right then, and we'll just touch on that, just because it's a nice little plug again.
The far right?
Yes, the far right. Ocean Waves, I believe.
This one. This one. There we go.
Indeed.
Here we go.
Looking good.
That is some promotional material for my upcoming production, Lustful Youth.
Yes, it is.
And now, unfortunately, the actress who's the actress in this picture, she had to drop out of the play.
Oh no!
The next day after I did this.
No.
And so we just went, we're going to keep this because it took me a long time to do.
Nice.
But other fun things about this, that background there, that is AI generated.
Really?
AI generated, what do you call this stuff? Oceanfront there?
Yeah, what'd you tell AI to do?
I told it a bunch of things, and it was a number of trial and error. So this is, I don't know how many I ended up doing. At least 10 different variations of typing in oil painting, cliffs, water, waves crashing on cliffs, and sometimes I wanted to have it higher on a cliff.
Yeah.
And it took a while to get there. I don't know. It was a number of variations, but then I tweaked it.
I like it
till I got that. And I took the photo that I posed.
Yeah.
And then did my rudimentary Photoshop where I cut out the
good
picture.
Stuff. I like it.
It is still good stuff.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by the costuming as well. Is that from Abrams Theater?
That is,
Shakespearean.
The costuming is from the basement of the theater. We were we dug it at that, we needed to put this together tonight. Yeah. So we put this together in 10 minutes. We went downstairs and dug around costumes, and these may not be the costumes for the show, just like it's not the actress for the show.
There you go. But no, I really enjoy it because I remember the costuming that we used for the version we did.
Sure.
And I feel like it's in the same it's in the same realm, but I almost feel like this is fancier costuming, which fits into, again, the idea, because again, Lustful Youth is kind of this mishmash of a person writing a soap opera, and so they should look like this in that big romance, novel style. So very cool.
Not to blow my own horn, complain one or another. What did take the longest amount of time it took was, so he took the picture,
moving all
put
the
there,
hair off
and
that man's chest.
just like you see the little like I'm deleting the background.
I can,
just erasing all that.
Yeah.
It just takes forever.
It does.
And I bet there's an easier way.
You're masking.
I'm masking slowly after the fact, or whatever. It takes forever, and I 100% know there's an easier way. While I was doing it, but I was like, you know what though? I've never really worked with Photoshop, and so I'm going to learn and do it this way.
There's probably some sort of weird
and I even put liquid in the bottle there. She sold an empty bottle.
Yeah.
I spent
some
a
sort
lot.
of weird masking points you can use, and it'll go, oh yeah, just remove everything around this line. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I
awesome.
I believe on my phone it has my phone now updated, the photo editor updated to be like delete this thing in the background, whatever it's called.
That magic eraser. Or
yeah,
whatever. I gotcha.
Which I thought was weird. There was a commercial for that.
Yeah.
And it was funny. They kept deleting things. I was like, oh, but that was the interesting part of the. It was like a couple kissing in the background, a dog humping a fire hydrant or something.
Like a flip trick
Yeah.
while the other person's getting
Yeah.
engaged. And
Yeah. And to me, I was like, no, the interesting one was
the flip kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, also, that's more fun if your marriage is already off, your relationship's already off to you, like deleting things that don't fit into your version of the history.
Yeah.
That's not a good.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Goodness.
That's a good question. All right. How much? Where are we at, man?
I don't know, but I've got two more I want to talk about real quick.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go from the middle, one over to the left. I'm going to call it Gandalf in the universe.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then we're going to go directly above that in a minute.
Sure.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm a little more happy with him than I was. I have not had a lot of experience yet drawing faces or peoples, and I was trying to draw like a rough one.
Yeah.
But actually, the original thing was I was chatting with a friend of mine, and she was talking about she had some image she wanted to recreate with hexagonal shapes,
Sure.
and some other lights.
Yeah.
And she said, I want to. She was going to try to draw it with like pencil. I was like, I can do that in like a minute. Hold on 1 second, and I went and I created that background thing. And then I decided, so I had that background look. It was just whatever it was. It was just this. La 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 la. I said, oh, okay, all right. And then so I had that, and then I was like, I should add something more to it somehow. And I was like, oh, I'm making a little wizard man. So that was why.
Like,
Made a little wizard man.
what I also like about it is it seems very much like a 70s movie still.
Oh,
where
yeah.
They then go back through and the artist is like, yeah, we're still working on putting in the wizard for this part. But
Yeah.
this, as you could see, because like the world's gotten weird because he's casting his spell or whatever, and it's very, I guess, Rankin Bass, like Indian version of the Hobbit, right?
Yeah.
As well. So it's that kind of style where it's like, oh yeah, this is where he'd come in and blah 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 blah. So no, it's very cool. And again, I love the colors of it. It probably fits into the idea of the color wheel, but I really like it.
Probably does. It probably does.
Yeah.
You're probably right, man.
All right, and let's go back one, and then we're gonna go straight above it, and that'll be the last one we'll talk about.
Okay, this one. I'm very happy with this one. This one?
Parent robots. Yeah, parent robots talking to the son, maybe. They're like, hey, son, we're not. Hey, son. Hello.
Yeah.
And we got dad robot and mom robot.
All right.
And I love their faces. I love the luminescence tool. I'm a sucker for luminescence.
Yep, I know.
And you have a
Me
great
too.
glow effect there in that the light of the sun is like it's very clearly shading, or you can see the light on the one part and is very clearly shading another part though. Like there's very clearly a part of that where the light is not reaching. And I really like that. And I like that it's just enough. It's not the whole thing. It's not even half. It's just enough. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. These were actually the original intention of the two faces was doing the theater masks, happy sad theater masks, and robot-y.
Okay.
I was just goofing around also with the luminescent tool. And then the other fun thing I did, so then I added that light there. Reflection on their face.
Yeah.
And then I use the blur tool. You can blur the luminescence.
Okay.
And you can adjust the blur brush.
Really?
Yeah, so you can blur it in whatever style. So you can put a brush in like a paint style and then blur it in pen.
Okay.
Right. And so this is luminescence and then blurred in luminescence as well. So that and then and then I did some little cleanup eraser.
That's really nice, though. I really like, especially on the sad face, we'll say, I really like the shadowing you did, but I also enjoy just how happy the happy face is.
He's
so
beaming,
happy.
beaming with joy.
Right? And then I enjoy the colorblind test robots font
Yeah,
right there.
and that was another little trick I did as well. There was I just layered. There's on some Photoshop or other design thing I've worked with, it'll that's a tool already. It'll give you a shadow to the thing.
Yeah.
This one I just layered two different layers of the words. That's the way I do it. So
and then I know we're running low on time, but I do just want to walk through. If you want to jump back to the beginning of it, I also like that the robot's text then kind of looks like it's like a fake 3D, like it's trying to trick you into thinking 3D.
Sure.
But as we're moving through the picture again, because one of the tenets of art cult is encouraging art, and we do that by showing how Mike goes through this process. Just watch the process of both creating both faces and the ons and offs that he does.
Scribble, 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 scribble.
All right. Figuring things out. Okay, is that...
Ready? To get the right...
Now I'm going to do this circle.
Bunch of
Is
different...
that right? No, back to this circle. There's the eyes. No. Now there's the eyes. Now I'm moving the line a little bit. What works best? And then I even just like the little note you put in for yourself. Text. Okay, I'm going to test how the text works. Test. Robots. Test. Robots. Test.
Yep.
All that, and then the drawing.
Yeah, this time... Actually, it might be interesting time-wise to see... usually by the halfway point that we've decided, and then you start doing... You start tweaking.
And even then, I think you were still kind of working things through, and so that was really cool. So I think that's a great example, and it's a great example to end on.
There you go. I think you're right, Matt. I also do believe at one point I was doing this one, and I did say to myself in my head, I was like, I'm not happy with it, whatever. I was like, well, just do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I don't do it or do it. Just
who and why are you creating art? Who are you creating art for? And why are you creating the art? Again, those are the questions that we ask here at Art Cult. The questions you should ask yourself. Because again, the 5 tenets of Art Cult.
Number 1.
Make art.
Number 2.
Encourage art.
3.
Promote art.
Number 4.
4th thing.
Sell things. Number 5.
Drink wine.